Today we're taking a closer look at the Barricade HD rear tire carrier for the 2021 and newer Ford Broncos. If you've upgraded to larger wheels and tires and you want the peace of mind that your rear spare is secure and supported, this heavy-duty carrier is a great option. This Barricade HD rear tire carrier is designed to be used with the Barricade HD rear bumper FB50257 on our website. And it's able to accommodate oversized spare tires, eliminating the strain that heavier wheels can have on that factory tailgate. It helps distribute the added weight more evenly to prevent sagging or damage to your tailgate over time. This carrier is fully adjustable to accommodate a wide range of tire and wheel sizes, so whether you're running 33s, 35s, or even larger tires, it ensures a snug, rattle-free fit. The integrated mounting system also retains use of your third brake light and that camera system, maintaining safety and compliance without sacrificing visibility or function. Built from very durable steel plating, this tire carrier is engineered for strength and longevity, handling the roughest trails and the heaviest off-road tire setups. It's finished in this nice textured black powder coat finish, and it not only matches your Bronco's rugged style, but also protects against rust and corrosion for years to come. As far as the pricing goes on this, it's coming in right around that low $300 price range. This is a solid investment for off-roaders or anybody looking to upgrade to a larger spare tire. It's built tough and offers more support and longevity than the stock mount, all at a very competitive price point. The installation on this is simple, bolting straight into that Barricade HD rear bumper FB50257 on our website. So it's rated just a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you can have this job done in 2 hours or less of your time. So now let's head on out to the shop, and they're going to give you a detailed walkthrough of exactly how this install process goes.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact and ratchet, 1/2 inch ratchet, 1/2 inch and 3/8 extension,
a 19mm wrench,
grease, hammer, 41, 35, 18, and 13mm socket, a 6, 5, 5/32 and T30 socket, Phillips head screwdriver, clip removal tool, adjustable pliers, and a trim panel removal tool. All right, today we're going to be installing a spare tire carrier for our Bronco, so let's get started. So we're starting off inside our tailgate here. We have to remove our access panel to unplug our wiring harness that goes to our third brake light and camera. So I'm going to grab a trim panel removal tool, just get under this and pop it off. Get that out of the way. So we see our harness here going through. Now we have our 2 connectors. We're just going to push and release on both of these. Then we're going to see 4 tabs going around this connector here. Squeeze them together and push that through our tailgate. Now we're going to remove our spare tire carrier completely. We have 8 13mm bolts going around the outside. So we'll grab our impact, extension, and socket and take those off. Next, we need to take off our 2 bumpers. Now inside there is a push clip with a Phillips head screw in it. So we're gonna grab our screwdriver, unscrew that out, and then you should be able to pull that straight out. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the other one. Now we have our new bracket that we're going to install. So you see that it only goes on one way. We're gonna reinstall this with our bolts that we took out. So let's thread all of those in, and we'll go ahead and grab our impact 13mm socket and tighten these down. So then we're going to go underneath our bumper and mount this part. Now this is where the spare tire carrier actually swivels on. So as you can see, there are 4 threaded holes here. So it's going to go up, come up through the hole with our 4 longest bolts with lock washers and flat washers. Go through the backside and tighten them down. So we're going to take this, feed this up through. It's going to hold it from up the top. As you can see, we're going to go through our plate here, thread in our bolts. So we can get 1, 2, hold it in place so it doesn't fall. And get the other 3 threaded in. Now I am just going to thread these in by hand just because there is not a lot of room in here. But once I can get a ratchet and a socket on them, go ahead and tighten them down. So ratchet, 18mm socket, tighten these all the way down. Before we get assembling anymore, we're just gonna disassemble our spare tire carrier that we took off. So we just need to reuse our factory brake light and camera. So there are two T30s here and then 4 holding our third brake light on. So we're gonna take our ratchet, extension, and socket, take those out. Just gonna lift that up. All right, we'll get our 4 out for our third brake light. So now we have this flipped over. This just falls down from being here. Now we're gonna actually, there is a little bit of plastic here that's holding our camera. We're gonna pry that up. I'm also just gonna disconnect this clip here that's holding our harness to our metal bracket. So we'll get this off first. Pull that off and just gently work this out just like that. Now we're going to disconnect our camera here. This is a simple clip. Get this out of the way. We can just set this aside for right now. So right now we need to start assembling our spare tire carrier. So we have a couple of bearings that we need to insert. So what we're going to do first is insert our race. It's going to go in the bottom here. Then we need to pack our bearing, insert that in like so, and then we have a seal that goes on the bottom. Now we're going to use some wheel bearing grease, a socket, and a hammer, and a piece of wood to actually help seat the seal. We're also going to grab a buddy to help hold this in place to make this a little bit easier. All right, so I have our outer part of our bearing here. I'm going to throw a little bit of grease on it to help get it in place. Just going to set this in here and then grab our socket and hammer, tap it into place. That is set all the way down. And we're just going to grab some more grease and pack our bearing. And set that inside. Then we need to install our seal. Now we're just going to put our seal on. So let's get this started. And I have a piece of wood here to help keep it flat. Tap it in place. Now we're going to get ready to get our tire carrier on. Now we have a gasket that's going to sit on our bumper and then our bottom washer. We're just going to go over that, stick to our double-sided tape. We'll get our double-sided tape over, just kind of center that up, peel the backing off. And then we'll get our washer over. So now we'll get our spare tire carrier slid over. And we're gonna go ahead and get our top bearing in. So now we have this one here, we're gonna get our top smaller bearing in there. Now we're gonna do the same thing, put our race in first with the concave part down. Bearing will fit in like so. Then we're gonna have a top washer and our castle nut. Now I'm gonna be using a 35mm socket to get this through here. Now it is pretty tight in here, so it might be a little bit of a struggle getting it out, but we'll figure that out. So let's get a buddy to help hold this more up straight so we can get this sat flat. So we're gonna have our race for our bearing here. We'll get some grease on it to help slide it into place. We're just gonna drop this down in here. I'm gonna grab my socket, put an extension on just to help a little bit and hammer. Have a buddy help lift that up right about there and tap it down. All right, heard that bottom out. Just need to get our socket out of here. And we will get our bearing, pack that with grease, Go ahead, just drop that down. Just gonna use my extension, make sure that gets seated in place. And get these dirty gloves off and we'll get our castle nut on. All right, just gonna push our bearing down all the way. We have our flat washer and then our castle nut, thread that on. My ratchet extension, 35mm socket. We'll tighten that down. All right, we have that lined up. Now we're just gonna put our cotter pin down in there. So now we have our cotter pin in there. I'm just gonna use my clip removal tool to hold it down and then use a flathead screwdriver to bend the ends out. All right, as you can see, I just used our socket and actually just twisted that so it locked it in place. Last thing we have is our cap. So we're gonna set that over. Just use my wood block and hammer and tap that in. Now we have our next bracket that's gonna go on the outside of our tire carrier here. It's gonna be this one. Just make sure you have the welded nut on the bottom. It's gonna fit over like so. Now we're gonna be using 2 of our shouldered long nuts with a flat washer and then a flat washer and locking nut on the inside. We'll get this through. Let's get one of these threaded on real quick. We'll get our other one on and then tighten down. Now I'm going to use my impact extension 18mm socket and 19mm wrench to tighten these down. Just going to make sure it's snug and then centered. Tighten them the rest of the way down. So next we have our spare tire adapter. So it's going to slide inside of here. And then we have 2 of our longer bolts with flat washers. They're going to go through and on the back side in our flat washer and locking nut. Get these through. Now there is a ton of adjustment just so you can make if you have a bigger or wider tire. We're just going to put ours all the way out just to be safe. And it's going to be the same thing. Impact extension 18 and a 19mm wrench to hold the nut. Next we have our bracket for our third brake light. Now it's just going to sit on top. We have 2 of our Allen bolts with flat washers. We'll thread those in. We'll go ahead and grab our ratchet and our 6mm Allen socket, tighten those down. Now we're going to mount our third brake light that we took off. It's going to sit in our bracket like so. We're going to reinstall the 4 screws that we took out. Now they are a different thread pitch than the other 2 that we took out also. So we're just going to put these in the 2 that came out of the opposite ones. If you have another bolt that can go in these bottom ones, go ahead and put them in. We don't at this time, but it'll be held up perfectly fine by 4. So we'll grab our ratchet, T30 socket, tighten these down. Now we have our harness here for our camera. Now we do have an extension harness. We're gonna plug that in. We're actually gonna feed that through the back of our carrier, through the center here so it comes out so we can attach it to the camera. Feed that through and pull it through. So I have our factory camera here. I'm gonna plug that into our extension harness. Snap that in place. Then we can set this over our 3 studs. And then we have our cover. Just gonna go over like so. Now it's gonna line up with 2 holes that are already in this plate that we put in. We're gonna grab our 2 countersunk Allen bolts, thread those in. We're gonna get the other one started here. We're gonna grab our ratchet with our 5/32 Allen and tighten this down. So now we're gonna install our pivot joint here. Now this is gonna allow the spare tire carrier to pivot when the door opens. So it's gonna go right here. We're gonna have our long bolt with our flat washer, put that through, then we're gonna have another flat washer and locking nut on the bottom side. Now we're gonna grab my ratchet, 18mm socket and 19mm wrench to tighten this down. Now we're going to attach it to the bracket we installed on the back of the tailgate. Just line that up. Again, bolt, flat washer, and another flat washer and locking nut on the bottom side. So real quick, I just want to go over this joint now. Now you'll see two loose nuts on either side. Those are your locking nuts. Our center here will be able to spin, so you can bring the spare tire closer or further away from your door. You just kind of got to find the right spot where your door opens all the way and where it won't make any contact of anything. We're going to use an adjustable wrench to adjust it and then tighten down our lock nuts. So you see here, spin it that way, brings it closer, spin it that way, brings it out. We're going to set it right about there and tighten down our jam nuts onto the center. And that will lock it in place. So we'll get our harness and feed that back through our tailgate here, secure our plug. And then you can secure this if you want anyway to the back side or just let it hang out like that. But we'll go inside and get our two connectors plugged back in. So we just have our two connectors here. We'll plug those back in. And then we can reinstall our cover. Make sure you go on the outside first, kind of slots in, and then tap it into place. Last thing we need to install is our license plate bracket. So it's just going to get held on with an Allen bolt and flat washer. Thread that in. Then we'll grab our ratchet with a 5mm Allen socket and tighten that down. And that wraps up our install of our Barricade HD rear tire carrier for a 2021 and newer Bronco. And remember, for everything Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.